Hello, friends. Welcome back to Gecko's Gaming. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a couple Gruul decks, Gruul Delirium in particular, Red Green, Delirium, and Standard. And we're going to be looking at a couple decks, doing kind of a deep dive into the deck builds and which ones, or what the pros and cons are of each. And then we're going to play some games with my favorite version of the deck right now. The purpose of this video is to chronicle the continuing evolution of the Red Green Delirium deck that I played the other day. And as I've watched lists come in through various standard challenges and tournament results, and also my own playing and brewing, I've started to see this deck getting more consistent, leaner, more synergy, more of a complete deck that all works together with a sideboard that complements the main deck's game plan and all of that. I like this deck. I'm going to continue working on it. I do think it's a good possibility that I might play this month during the qualifier weekend. I have a few other decks on my radar too, but I will get to those in subsequent videos. One thing I like about this deck is that it's just kind of broad strokes, the things I like. It applies pressure early. It has big creatures that can be difficult to interact with for a lot of the removal and a lot of the way decks are configured in the meta. And it also has just like a combo kill. It can kill on turn 4. So I like all these things. It's a little bit off the radar. It's like a tier 2-ish deck, maybe tier 3. It's not on people's radar. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that it can kind of slip through the cracks and catch somebody by surprise, but it's still powerful, and it has good ways to interact with the meta. As I said in the previous game, or in the previous video, Keen-Eyed Curator, being able to run this, I think, is a huge boon. This card is insane. It's very strong just on itself, but it also hoses a lot of decks and a lot of strategies in the meta, just incidentally. So we're very excited about running that. But yeah, if you want to know a little bit more about the deck, you can watch my first video about it. But the overall idea is it's an aggressive Delirium deck. We're trying to get Delirium, and then we're trying to kill them with big creatures, maybe getting extra combat steps with Fear of Missing Out, getting Double Strike with Violent Urge, protecting our creatures and making it huge and trample, and then giving it a double strike. A lot of times you just win with an overprotect Violent Urge combo. So that's the deck, and just now I'll talk about some updates. I cut the Burst Lightnings and I cut the Commune with Beavers, and I went heavier into green and less on red. So now the early game is more consistent. It's easier to cast Curator. We don't have 4 mountains floating around in the deck. All of our early interaction and cantrips are green, and so it makes the mana a lot smoother. I can run less lands. The deck can get flooded out. That's one of the problems with the deck. But I added some more flood insurance as well with Inti, which is sort of a replacement for the 4th Tursa. She's like a mini Tursa who is aggressive, goes really well with the game plan, lets us discard cards to get Delirium, gives Trample, makes our creatures bigger, card advantage, or at least filtering. So very nice addition there I'm trying out. The big thing too is it's a hit off of Breakout. If you saw my last video, I whiffed a lot on Breakout, and even though I do think that the variance was unusual there, it felt bad enough that I'm trying to make sure I maximize hits for it still. But yeah, other than that, we replaced Commune with Beavers with like a Seed of Hope and Bushwhack package. Basically, I replaced Burst Lightning and Commune with Beavers with these for our early interaction and cantripping. And then I also added a Paw Patch Recruit as another 1-drop too. But just because I wanted more 1-drops, you want to get off the ground early, and it's a flexible 1-drop. It has Trample, which plays well with the Double Strike and the pumping and stuff like that our deck can do. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. I think it's okay. I spent a long time looking at 1-drops, and there's not a lot of good options right now. But I would like more 1-drops ideally in this deck to make it faster. So Paw Patch Recruit is in. We're trying it. I might add more. I might cut it entirely. We'll see how it does. But yeah, back to the Bushwhack and Seed of Hope. Bushwhack helps us fix our mana early on, or provides a removal spell in the main deck that goes right to the graveyard, gives us a sorcery for only 1 mana. So it can be proactive or it can be reactive to taking out the opponent's creature if we need to. But in case we don't, it's not a dead card. Seed of Hope has been awesome. Yeah, it just gives you Delirium so fast, and it also often like just replaces itself. The gaining 2 life is kind of a tack on. We don't care about our life that much in this deck, but it can come up for racing and whatnot. Um, and so I cut Burst Lightning too because I found that it was a little awkward with the deck, and going deeper into red wasn't really worth it. It was very rare that my opponent was down to like 2 life or that I just had enough that it interacted with their creatures profitably. Our creatures are bigger than most other creatures, anyways, so taking out small creatures isn't really a priority, especially game 1 where we're just trying to run them over and kill as fast as possible. Game 2, we board into more situational interaction, which I'll go into shortly. And then I put into Burnhilder too. Again, I'm trying to get more, make sure I have plenty of hits. I was also looking for enchantments because so far the deck only has 4 enchantments and Fear of Missing Out, and it's another dual card type of creature and enchantment, so that helps quite a bit with our Delirium goals. And then yeah, it goes well with what the deck is doing. I mean, it replaces itself. We have a little curve, so we'll basically always be able to cast the spell that it gets. And then giving a creature haste is pretty good in here too. We like haste in this deck, so yeah, we'll give it a try. We'll see how it does. The rest of the deck, not much different. Not much has changed. Couple considerations over here. Audacity was another one for another enchantment that I quite like. I've been thinking about playing that. And then Hunter's Talent for an interaction or removal spell. I saw somebody was playing, what's it called? Beastie Beatdown, I think. Yeah, this one. Beastie Beatdown. Green, red. Choose target creature you control and target creature an opponent controls. And it's like a punch spell. But then if you have Delirium, you also get 2+1/+1 counters. So that one's in consideration too. It's a sorcery. I like that this is an enchantment, but it doesn't go to the graveyard when we cast it. So that's one thing. But you know, if we mill it incidentally or something like that, it's nice having more enchantments in the deck. But it's an interesting consideration because you know it's a punch spell, so we can use it as removal. And then each turn it pumps a guy and gives him trample, which really can help us break through and win with Violent Urge. And then it can also lend itself to drawing cards, which is the deck can run out of gas, and it wants to have ways to gas up that don't go out of its way to do so. So like the Questing Druids, for example, have been kind of awkward because I don't want to take a turn off and wait till their end step and then do this to draw a couple cards. Like I'm trying to be proactive. So that's where like Tursa, Inti, these types of cards, maybe Burnhilder, these types of cards that can give us card advantage or at least filtering, and then also have a threat tacked onto it. That's what we're looking for. We need to not run out of threats with this deck. So yeah, I'm not playing Hunter's Talent yet, but I have considered it. Same thing with Audacity, considering this. And these are some sideboard considerations that I wanted to talk about. Heritage Reclamation, I've gone down on, as well as Paw Patch. You see there's no Paw Patch recruits in here, or what's it called? Paw Patch Formation. The one that hits enchantment, a flyer, or makes a food token. But yeah, that's not in here because it was good against demons, but demons has basically been hated out by Fairy Mastermind, and you just don't see it anymore. And I trust me, I really like the demons deck, and I've been trying to make it work. And I still have a few ideas for ways that it could happen, but it is rough in this metagame with blue-black being such a menace and running 4 Fairy Masterminds. So Paw Patch Formation is out. It's also not proactive, and that's the thing with Heritage Reclamation too. I just found like in the moments where I wanted to destroy an artifact or enchantment, I would rather do it either for less mana or do it in a proactive way. So that's why we have Pick Your Poison, cost 1, Scrap Shooter comes with a 4/4. So those are just better for the deck. Like we need to have the tempo matters, the timing, the mana advantage really matters in this deck. A lot of times games come down to the wire and they can be decided by like 1 mana or not. And then Scrap Shooter, you know, just a big beast. So I don't want to have to run a card that kind of have to take a turn off to use, and I don't want to be trying to pass and then hope to instant speed get their graveyard thing in response. It's way too reactive for what the deck is trying to do. So Heritage Reclamation is out, even though I think it's a good card in general. Just in terms of what the deck's trying to do, we don't need it. Twin Maw Stormbrood, which is basically just a roast. But in, we're never casting the creature, but the Charring Bite is the part we're interested in. It's basically roast, 5 damage to a creature without flying. But it gets shuffled back into our library instead of going to our graveyard. It doesn't give us Delirium. Alright, so that's out basically for that. There's other ways that we can destroy big creatures. I have Wishstalker Frenzy. So yeah, this is out because I don't like shuffling it back in. I want it to go to the graveyard to get Delirium. And then the rest of the sideboard, I have some Fire Magics in here. Now you'll notice, aside from Burnhilder and Pawpatch Recruit, which are new additions that I'm just trying out and may not even eventually make the cut, nothing in our deck dies to the 1 mana version of this card. And with blue-black running around how it is, they've played 12 X1s. 4 of them are 1-drops, 8 of them are 2-drops. And then on top of that, a lot of them are playing Fate-Bloom Trick, which puts 2 more 1/1s in at instant speed. So Fire Magic, instant speed can blow out blue-black. And then it has other applications, like the 2 damage is quite good in here too. Like we have plenty of X3s. Rickerfolk can get to 3. Most of our stuff it either starts at 3 or can get to 3 pretty easily. And so it's a sweeper for other decks. I'll bring it in against like tokens, against Convoke it's good, against other aggressive decks. But then mostly it's just in here as a hoser for blue-black because it just clears all those little X1s out of the way at instant speed and can have some huge blowouts only for 1 mana. So the tempo is very important against blue-black, and so this is just awesome. Lithomantic Barrage is pretty self-explanatory. You bring it in as just a card against blue or white decks, take care of their big guy. Pick your poison. We're very interested in getting the 1 mana. I talked about this in the last video midway through when I made changes, but 1 mana to get all this good stuff that can hose our deck. We can get, so a lot of times against blue-black especially, I'm going to keep coming back to blue-black because you have to know your enemy. Blue-black is the menace of this format right now. So with this card, a lot of times they'll bring in Ghost Vacuum to hose your Delirium plan, and so this can take care of a Ghost Vacuum incidentally without losing on tempo, but also it just can take care of a lot of their little flyers. Like maybe you'll get a 1/1 flyer for 1 that they cast, and then you're just tempo neutral. Or maybe it could be negative if you on cards if they do Fate-Bloom Trick, but they cast a 3 mana spell, you cast a 1 mana spell, so that's not even that bad. And then it also has the upside of getting able to get their 2 mana guys like Fairy Mastermind, stuff like that. So it's good against blue-black. I think it's at least playable against them. I'm not sure how much I would bring it in, but being able to incidentally take care of the only hoser that they have for your deck while also having it have some other applicability in the matchup seems reasonable to me. But it's also just there for every other day. There's so many artifacts and enchantments. Like white plays Rest in Peace. It plays Temporary Lockdown. There's some big flyers in the format. It's good against the Unidex. It's always going to be either tempo neutral or tempo positive with a very high ceiling. And notably, it's also a sorcery too. So I'm trying to get more sorceries in here because I've noticed I don't want to ever cut Seed of Hope. So Violent Urge and Seed of Hope really load up the instant spot with, we don't really want to go down. I'll sometimes trim a Violent Urge if I think that they're going to be, really able to stop the combo plan or take us off Delirium. Sometimes I'll trim these. But Seed of Hope, it's so important to the deck. Like, I don't want to cut those. So I don't want to go down on instants. I will go down on sorceries. Like, I'll trim some Bushwhacks. So, and we're short on sorceries anyways. We have 6 sorceries to 11 instants right now. So, bringing in more sorceries is really good. So that's the extra bonus for Pick Your Poison. Questing Druid, I'm not sure about. I do need ways to have card advantage. It is a hit off Breakout. It can do okay. In this new iteration of the deck, there's a lot less red. There's less red spells, but post board, depending on the configuration, we could end up going back up on red again. to get the +1/+1 counters. I would say Question Druid is the card in here that I'm most shaky about right now, and I'm looking for maybe a replacement. And maybe that's more Burn Hilders. Maybe it's Ren and is it Ren and Realmbreaker, the 3-mana Planeswalker? Um, yeah, but I'm still kind of trying Question Druid. I'm holding on. I'll try it a little bit more, but it might get cut. Royal Treatment is just a 1-mana hexproof thing. A lot of times people will respect Overprotect once they see it, but then not respect a 1-mana hexproof. And it's just really good against those decks when like control decks or things like that, where you really need to get punched through that damage and you're up against spot removal. Um, Soul Guide Lantern I'm bringing in too, and because I like it because it complements our game plan. It's proactive. It puts an artifact in our graveyard. We don't need that much exile in the graveyard or in the sideboard because we have Keen-Eyed Curator already in the main. We have 4 of those. So this is just to supplement that. I like it a lot more than Ghost Vacuum or, as I said earlier, Heritage Reclamation, because it's proactive, it's cheap, it can cycle if we need it to, but it also just immediately, like whether we cycle it or whether we use it on the graveyard, either way, it puts an artifact in our graveyard for cheap and feeds our Delirium plan. So again, we're trying to maximize our plan. We're the proactive deck in most matchups. Obliterating Bolt, just a random removal spell. I have a little bit of like a kind of a grab bag of removal. We'll see which ones end up being more relevant than not, but one of this can't be too bad. 2 Scrap Shooters, already talked about that. And then we have Witchstalker Frenzy. So just to do 5 damage, we should be able to get a discount on it often enough with how much we're attacking. So yeah, that's the deck. I'm going to continue working on it, but this is where we're at now. One more thing I wanted to note about this deck, and the reason I think it may be a contender in this metagame, one of the main reasons, is that the creatures line up pretty well against the most played removal in the format, especially the black ones, because we have 8 artifact creatures, the 4 Wildfire Wicker Folks and the 4 Patchwork Beasties. So we have 8 artifact creature threats that Go for the Throat is a blank on, and almost every deck's playing 4 Go for the Throat and really leaning on that for interaction. And so yeah, it's still okay against us, but they really have to think. There's times where they could get stuck with those and they just die to a Wicker Folk. And so that's a pretty big game, just blanking all those removal spells from blue-black. And then the other thing is Cut Down is also not at its best here. Our main 1-drop is a 3/3, and then yeah, it hits something, so it's not a dead card. It's still probably fine against us, but Curator totally blanks it. Wicker Folk blanks it if you have Delirium. If you don't have Delirium, Cut Down's pretty good against Wicker Folk, so it's good to play around. And Tersa blanks it too, so those are all, I think, some of the reasons why this deck might be well positioned in the metagame. And all you really need is your opponent to stumble for like a turn or two. And so I do think that extra percentage of time when their removal is not going to line up well against us, and nobody's really preparing for this deck, it's a little off meta. So I think that just that little moment of getting them off balance there once in a while, I think it could be something that pushes this deck's win percentage up a significant amount. All right, so here's the other version of the deck that I've been looking at. This is the one I'm going to play today. This deck, we eschew all of the instant cantrip things and a lot of the tricks, and we go more hard focus on just creatures and threats. And notably, we have 11 1-drops. That's what the deck needs. Oftentimes you need to be on the front foot with this deck, but oftentimes what happens is when we just have Beastie, we start off not on the front foot. We start off on just with a 1-mana card that doesn't impact the board at all, and then hopefully a few turns later it'll start to attack as a 3/3 or block. But we need to put pressure on them early. So the problem that the deck has been facing is that it can't find a way to put pressure on the opponent early while also fixing and setting up its Delirium and kind of cantripping and filtering its hand. And that's where C-Note Scout comes in as the absolute MVP all-star of this new version. So this is why we don't need to play Seed of Hope. We don't need to play dirtily cards like Commune with Beavers. We just play the Scout. It's a 1-mana that either draws us a card if there's a land, or can put a card into our graveyard and become a 1-mana 2/2, and just kind of filter our draw that way. So this does everything the deck needs. It filters. It's a threat. It's cheap. It's card advantage. It gets you Delirium. So we love this card. And then now, as a part of this suite of 11 1-drops, the deck can get out early and actually put pressure on the opponent and put them on the back foot, which is where you need to be. The other thing that this deck does is it does play a little bit less instant and sorceries. Right now I have 5 and 5 of each, but we make up for it by having more enchantments. So Burn Hilder, another source of card advantage that's really helpful for the deck. All the modes of this card are great. I mean, the giving them haste on the next couple turns can really be a huge deal here. And then on top of that, getting to exile a card like the Abbot of Carol Keep effect and exiling it and getting that card advantage that way helps you just not run out of gas. So we have that and Scout to help fix our draws, mitigates Mana Screw or Mana Flood, and also get us card advantage, but they're also threats, and they also both feed the Delirium plan. This is an enchantment, so now we have 8 enchantment creatures. And when you get these enchantment creatures in your graveyard, it's just great. It's just great. It's the same thing with the artifact creatures, because they provide 2 types for Delirium. Something I want to mention along those lines is these types of cards, all these cards, these double ones, these ones that are 2 types, I often don't even... I'm very happy to discard these from my hand, and I do so aggressively to hit Delirium early on. If I can get Delirium on turn 2 or 3 by discarding one of these and curving into an Omnivorous Flytrap or something like that, I'm in for it. So I often think of these not only as threats, but as just cards I can get into their graveyard to get Delirium. And so that's important to keep in mind. And then the other thing is this deck has Violent Urge again, but we don't have the Overprotect, because that card was just kind of dirtily. And again, we want to make sure that all our cards are threats and just that we can pressure the opponent, because I've had a number of games with the other version of the deck where those cards get stuck in your hand and you end up with a hand of an Overprotect, a Violent Urge, blah, 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 but you don't have any creatures or bodies. So that's this helps with that quite a bit. And the Keen-Eye Curator's in here still. That's one of the biggest draws to the deck. What I like about this is, again, we're base green, which means we get all these 1-drops for value, and then we also get to easily cast the Curator, which is big game. Omnivorous Flytrap, I'm still on the fence about. I'm looking for a good 3-drop top-end finisher. This one it's okay. When it's good, when it does its thing, and that's good, but a lot of times you don't have Delirium, and it's a 3-mana 2/4, and that's very disappointing. It's really unacceptable when that's the fail case. So still on the fence about this. We're figuring that out. The sideboard, not much really has changed. I have gone back a little bit on Heritage Reclamation, where I'm coming back around to trying the card again, like against certain decks, against like blue-red, Cauldron, or things like that. It just does everything that you want. Like all of their stuff is like artifacts, enchantments, or they're doing graveyard things. So it can come in handy there. And then I have a Scrap Shooter in here too. The Urabrask's Forge are here just as an additional threat against decks with lots of spot removal or sweepers or things like that. And I can just hit them from a different angle. It's hard to remove, especially for blue-black and things like that. But yeah, that's about it. Let's go ahead and hop into some games. All right, let's see how we do. Couple C-Note Scouts. Okay, all the 1-drops is pretty sweet. So which one do we play first is kind of an interesting question, because the Beastie gets us going on Delirium right away. The C-Note Scout helps us get more lands out of the way, so that our draw can potentially be a bigger beater. It's really interesting. I am going to lead with a Scout. I want to start getting some beats. I'm not sure if this is right. My plan right now, let's put this in the graveyard because we want Delirium. That's an example of what I was talking about earlier. I'll almost always put this in the graveyard if it's on top of my library and I have the choice. Alright, let's go ahead and attack for 2. Get in there. And then we'll go with Another scout. I should have Pod Patch Recruit. That's another creature. I kind of like it here. Yeah, we'll keep it. It feels like I'm up against like a... Oh, but I'm gonna I'm gonna mill it anyways. Duh. Okay, well, we're figuring that out. I should have binned this so that I could get potentially another creature type in this turn, or another card type. So that was just an error. Alright, let's go ahead and attack for 4. Okay, we're up against the blue-white artifacts deck. So I should have done this first. That would have been nice, because then I would have gotten the 2+1/+1 counters. There's not a lot of removal that only can attack tapping or tapped creatures, but this is one of them. So target now my permanent opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. I've seen lists of this deck, but I haven't actually run into it yet. Looks like this is actually a Jeskai version. Selling my Pod Patch Recruit. Let's put it on there. Put one there, one there. Burnhilder. I'm in for a Burnhilder here, I think, over Wildfire Wickerfolk. Try to see if we can get another land drop. Okay, that's fine too. All these Lost Caverns of Ixalan cards do like a billion things. Tap 2 other untapped artifacts you control, becomes an artifact creature. This is Braided Net. 3 net counters on it. I can't read all this crap. Alright. Take action, I'll discard. Mill that. Mill that. Ah, there we go. We got there. Okay, yeah, GG. Oh man, I did not want to read all these cards. I didn't really play this set. I think I played one like limited league with this, but enters with 3 net counters on it. Remove a net counter from it. Tap another non-land permanent. So it can tap 3 times. Craft with artifact. That's an artifact you control from your graveyard. Blah blah blah. Okay, they're doing artifact stuff, and it's really all we saw was kind of a bunch of dirtily artifact removal type things. I know this deck plays the Synthesizer. The Simulacrum. Is that what it's called? Simulacrum Synthesizer or something like that? So we'll get the artifact and enchantment removal in here. I don't really know what else is good. Probably Burst Lightning is not great. I don't know about Obliterating Bolt. I guess I'll cut it. I don't know how much they do with the graveyard. These craft things can go with the graveyard, but that might not be like a main game plan of theirs. So, yeah, sure, I'll cut 1 Curator. Maybe I'll just cut a Violent Urge. Alright. I don't know, yeah, I've never played against this deck before, so... kind of curious to see what it does. I know that the Simulacrum Synthesizers can get out of control. Gonna mulligan this. And this is a keepable hand. Interesting choice, though, what to put back. I need the breakout to get a sorcery into my graveyard. FOMO and Wildfire both seem pretty good, too. I guess I'll put back Brynhilder. I don't think I need more cards necessarily. I just need to get Delirium and execute my game plan here. Put a mult of 5. Another FOMO, that's pretty nice. FOMO, discard FOMO, and we're well on our way to Delirium now. Get lost, alright. There it is, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Scries 2, whenever an artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater enters, they create a 0/0 construct that gets +1/+1 for each artifact they control. They have one artifact right now. Let's go ahead and break out. See what we get. Go with the Wicker Folk. Let's see if we can get Delirium. We already have a creature, right? Yeah. There's just another guy that wants Delirium, but we do have an instance here, so I'll keep it. Instant is the last piece that we need, so... It's kind of interesting, like, which one to remove. I guess there's... I'm gonna just remove the Perilous Snare, actually, and try to go for the short-term gains here. So give me double Delirium. It's gonna be under the gun to where I don't think that the opponent has the luxury of, like... Yeah, they're low on resources, and they need a lot more resources for Synthesizer to be good. So I did consider removing it, but since this gives us a big opportunity to just press the advantage and close the game. Okay, they have a Sweeper. That's pretty sweet art. I haven't seen that one before. Let's put these guys out. Just getting some guys out, and then some bodies for the fly trap next turn, and then they'll be dead unless they have something to do. Okay, that's pretty good. Wow. That's really good. That's how they make up from the tempo of all those, like, 3 mana dirtily artifacts that they play. I see now. Okay. If we had one more, the fly trap would be really good. Tough spot here. Removing net, tap it. Its activate abilities can't be activated for as long as it remains tapped. Tap and pay 4 to draw a card once it's crafted. I don't know if this deck does the crafting thing. I mean, is that just like extra text or what? Craft. Extend an artifact you control or an artifact from your graveyard. Yeah, they could definitely do that kind of stuff here. Alright, good game. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, wow. It was pretty impressive. Let's get the Violent Urges in. We really need to kill these guys before they do their thing. And, what will I cut for it? Let's cut a Keen-Eyed Curator. It's just not doing much in this matchup. I don't think there's really anything else worth considering. Alright. Game 3. Go first, but I have a C-Note Scout even though I only have one land. I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, we got a land. Not exactly the land we're looking for, but it'll do for now. We need some red. Let's get these guys out. And we have Heritage Reclamation to hold them off for a little bit, but we do need, there we go. Let's go. Let's go ahead and break out. I'm gonna do breakout first over Brynhilder because I get more value the more I can hold. The more that I can hold off on its exile effect, the more value I get out of it. So there's no way I could like play a land this turn since I had to off of it. If I got a land, I wouldn't be able to use it since I had to play my land just to even cast it in the first place. So, but next turn might be a better time to do it. Okay, what are we targeting? That one. So we'll go here with one, and let's go here with one. There's the synthesizer. Pull it to the bottom. I really want to hit another land, like, because I want to hold up this Heritage Reclamation. I basically have to, otherwise I could get the synthesizer treatment again. So, there's somebody to play Brynhilder, see if I can hit a land, but that would be lucky. I'm just gonna go with the Scout. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, if I hit like a 3-power creature, he's just dead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man, this is close. He's dead to a 3-power creature. With Breakout. Or I could take the safe route, C-Note Scouts. That leaves me vulnerable to Day of Judgment. I'm gonna actually go for it. We got there. Nice. Alright, good game. Alright, next round. We're up against Bandito, the Dauntless Drafter. Storm Chaser's Talent. They're one of these blue-red decks. I'm gonna lead. This is always. Do you lead with the Scout or the Beast? You have to figure this out. It's kind of close. I'm gonna lead with the Beastie. Let's try to get Delirium going. And the more that he's out there, the more that he like enables himself. So. Like there's value to the investment of putting the BC out early, because it makes it so that it can attack sooner, whether I play it now or later. But like playing it now allows it to attack sooner. Getting a lot of lands there. And let's go with the scouts here. Try to get Delirium. Put that in the graveyard because I'm looking to get Delirium, and it's unclear if that's even going to be able to do anything at any time in the near future. Another land. Yeesh. Comes the furnace. 4 damage to my 2/2. And then the outer beatdowns continue. The outer beatdowns will continue until morale improves. I will mill. Ah, we got an artifact creature. That's not bad, not bad. We're getting there. Okay, now do I Brynhildr or Breakout? Brynhildr's haste is redundant with Breakouts. And I'm kind of getting flooded, so I want to have that flood insurance later. Okay, I'm going to do Breakout. Let's try to keep the pressure on. This gives me a sorcery too. Yeah, so then the beastie can attack. Okay, FOMO is excellent here. Alright, we're going off. Unless they probably have the bounce spell. Rude. That's just rude. Okay. And we don't have a 1-drop, but we can attack for 4 at least, which I will do. Stock up. You're always relieved the turn that they cast stock up, but then the next turn you know it's going to be pretty scary. Alright. Couple of Fear missing outs, couple of Brynhildrs. What do we want to do here? He knows about the FOMO, so we're not surprising him by giving it haste next turn. Let's go ahead and discard a Karplusan Forest to this first one. And Obliterating Bolts. It's probably fine, but okay, let's do this, because this way we get both. Like, we get a FOMO that's out there on the table that he knows about already, and then we also get another one that'll have haste. And I did see that we flipped a Violent Urge. We have Delirium, so the opponent's going to need to probably deal with the Brynhildr and or the Fear missing out, otherwise they're going to have a tough time here. Okay, they have Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I'm going to give that. Nothing from their yard yet. Our yard. There's some stuff, but they can take us off Delirium. Okay. But I will soon have it back, because next turn I can discard Brynhildr to FOMO. I don't have an enchantment in there, so that'll do it. Okay. Vivi's big already, but so Vivi's already out of bolt range. But I can next turn. Okay. One's covering all their bases. I got my Brynhildr too. Puts me back on Delirium though on board. Okay, I'm taking 4. I don't care about that. They're either dead this turn or I'm gonna lose, so it's most likely the situation. So this one won't have haste. Attack, he blocks there, or he takes 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean, I could see if I could goad him into blocking with Vivi and then bolts and then try to live to fight another day. They're almost out of cards. I have lots of cards. Is there anything I want to do first? Yeah, probably breakout. See what we get there. Another Brynhilder. Kunai Curator is interesting. But they don't really... Yeah, let's get the Curator. Blocks the Curator with Vivi. No, he blocks that. Okay, he's being super safe. It's fine. Bolt the Vivi. It's exiled now. Alright. See, they can get back some stuff with Storm Chaser's talents. They can continue exiling my graveyard creatures. They don't get any good activated abilities right now, but... Okay, they're just going for the card draw with Sauna. Alright. So they're in a tough spot. I think that we can really press the advantage here. Because Curator is just enough here if they don't have a bounce spell. But I'm going to go for Brynhilder, just in case. I'm going to play around and having something here, probably. I can afford to. Okay, there's a Thornspire Verge. Yeah, the Cauldron's tapped, so that might have been a mistake on their part to let that be tapped. Because now, if they don't have the bounce spell, they're in trouble. It looks like they have it, kind of, doesn't it? Kind of feels like they have it. Let's see, what would they like to get back most with Storm Chaser's talent? For 4, and then they could get one of these 1-mana spells back. So we're practically dead to a Burst Lightning, so I'll take that first. Going for the kill. I'm going for it. I got instant creatures, so let's take their sorcery. Let's take stock up. Alright, good game. Alright, so blue-red Cauldron. We want the Scrap Shooter, we want the Heritage Reclamations, we want Soul Guide Lantern, we want Obliterating Bolt, Lithomantic Barrage. Actually, I'm not sure about Obliterating Bolt, but Barrage we definitely want. Bolt is maybe extra. We don't need it. We gotta cut 8 cards, so yeah, we'll cut the Burst Lightnings. It's the easy cut. cut Fly Trap because they will have lots of things to take us off off of Delirium. The bolts are, again, interesting. Like, I can catch Vivi early with them, or you saw like last game I was able to kind of get lucky and set up a trap where they took 3 damage and then I killed their 4/7 Vivi or whatever it was. I feel like, yeah, I just don't think Violent Urge is reliable post board here, especially on the draw. Cut that. We're kind of going down on the Delirium thing a little bit, and I think that's a perfectly fine because yeah, these decks usually play FOMO too, don't they? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it's either going to be 1 bolt or like a beastie is where I'm at. I think I'm going to cut a bolt. Because Beastie just goes down when they, they have Agatha's Soul Cauldron. They're probably going to bring in some more Graveyard Hate if they don't already have enough, so. Okay, yeah, this is it's okay. It's got Keen Eye Curator, so we'll keep it. No 1-drops, but my plan here is just to start leading with firing off some breakouts. Spinning the wheel and seeing what we get there, and then once we have some mana untapped, we'll bring in Keen Eye Curator. Once we have like 3 mana or so, and take them off of their Cauldron game plan. But hopefully we can take some of the removal with these early cards, and then land a Curator mid-game, and hopefully that'll be good enough. Lithomantic Barrage, it's not doing much here, but yeah, I mean there is an argument for Wicker Folk also, but I'm gonna leave with breakouts. There's a Brynhilder, there's a FOMO. I like the FOMO. I also like Brynhilder though. Let's do FOMO. It's just so good, and it kind of stabilizes the board almost too on its own here. And then do I discard like a land or a? No, I can't discard a land, right? That's too greedy. Wicker Folk or Breakout. Wicker Folk gives me 2 types. Yeah, discard that. Yeah, sure, I'll attack. Probably. I mean, there's a high chance that these things get up to 3 this turn, so I'm not leaving back the FOMO to block. Just be a bad idea. Roaring Furnace is only going to do 2 damage, so it's not good. Okay. Huh. This is interesting, because I would really like to hold up Reclamation. But for what exactly? I'm not even sure. I mean, they could play Cauldron here, but that's not even that good on this board until they have a Vivi, so I should probably just press the advantage while I still can. So then it's like, do I do a kicked Paw Patch Recruit, or do I just break out +1 Paw Patch Recruit? I'm going with the kicked Paw Patch Recruit. It's like pretty good value, seems. We just gotta make sure not to die. Maybe there I should have held back the fear of missing out. I'm not sure. It's weird, like I'm starting to feel like I'm the control in this matchup right now. At least in this match so far, it's felt that way. Like I've had more cards than the opponents, and they've been trying to pressure my life total. But I'm like the Gruul deck. I'm supposed to be the attacker. This is good old-fashioned Gruul beats, I thought. Maybe not. I think it might be part of it is an effect of how this person's playing too. I don't. They're playing pretty aggressively with the blue-red deck, and I mean, Maybe their deck's built that way, but that's usually not what's best for the deck, from what I've seen so far. Okay, so artifact creature, sorcery. Artifact creature, sorcery. I really need some more lands, is the thing. I'm getting held up on lands. So maybe I do a FOMO. I don't want to discard any of these. The only instant is like Reclamation, but I kind of need that. That's what I need to get Delirium too. Do I just do it? Can't be that good. Alright, let's just break out. I'm running out of time. Okay, there's a Fear missing out. That's perfect. Now I can discard the other FOMO. And... and we'll hold this one back. Place Keynote Scout. Put that in the graveyard. Maybe I should have kept it. I don't know. Because I could... It allows me to, like, have more options for double spelling next turn, but I'd rather just really hit a land right now. Okay, we got Storm Chaser's Talent. This Barrage is going to take care of Vivi. Yeah, let's just kind of go for the kill here, I think. So we'll do Breakout into Barrage. GG. All right, round 3. Good hand. One drops. Having more one drops just makes every hand good. And again, I have the age-old question: C-Note Scout or Beastie? This looks like it's more of a we're trying to set up for Delirium hand, so I'm going to go straight out with the Beastie. I do think generally the Beastie on turn 1 is probably right. It just the returns multiply the longer that you have it out to get Delirium. Even though it's like doesn't put you as even though it puts you not as far ahead right away, I do think overall you can get ahead with it pretty easily. Let's get that instant in there. I should have held my land until after I played the first scout in case I ripped a land I wanted to cast there. Well, he's got the Mirage Islands. Nice. You love to see it. Love the Mirage Islands. Okay, so let's see. We're basically at Delirium. The sorcery will do it. So let's go for it here. Yes, they could have a counter spell, but I'm not playing around that. Either way, I get Delirium, so that's fine. That's super fine. Let's get their only guy out of the way. Let's make for 6. Mirage Swamp, also a good one. Jill, nice. It's spicy. I haven't seen Jill in here before. Opponent's bringing the spice today. So let's do... Do we do Brynhilder or FOMO first? I think Brynhilder. Because it actually, yeah, Brynhilder, and then I might even play the FOMO next turn. Let's see what we get. We get a Curator. I'm in for that. Let's attack for 2. And then next turn, if FOMO comes in with haste, then that's going to be pretty good. So they're going to have to deal with Brynhilder. I do like that they're just playing Mana War, you know. It's kind of cool. The blue-black players are trying to all tech each other out. I might end up playing blue-black, I'm not going to lie, even though I hate the deck. Just Kaido is like, I don't know, the card is just annoying. It's offensive to me. It's so hard to interact with. That's part of the reason I'm playing this Gruul deck, is just because the only way to... The only thing that's good against Kaido is like being aggressive and then being on the back foot, so that's the idea with this. Oh no, if I... Oh man. Okay, so I have to discard... If I... It only gives one creature haste, the first one, so I have to actually discard a card with FOMO. I can't empty my hand. So, that's fine. I do have an extra land here I can discard to it. Okay, Curator's not getting there this turn no matter what we do, so go ahead and Flip Pit's Drowner, okay. Tapping down my Curator. I don't think I have good attacks now because of the 3/3. So we'll just play our Beastie. Oh no, I just burned myself for no reason. I should play the land first. Oh no, wait, it doesn't even tap for green. Okay. Don't tell me I'm gonna be the victim of being stabilized by a 3/3. That just can't happen. Let's get their Fairy Mastermind out, I guess. And let's get the instant too. Let's try to get this Curator flipped as soon as we can. I will mill a card. FOMO. Wildfire Wickerfolk. Am I just, like, kamikazing the FOMO here? This Wildfire Wickerfolk has double haste. It's pretty cool. I don't think so. I think I would rather save it. They don't have sweepers, so if I can just keep a big board advantage and press it on them, I can continue to leverage that for the rest of the game. So I'm not throwing my creatures away for damage quite yet. Curiosity, sure. If that thing dies, I'm exiling it before it comes back. Bye-bye. Knight Curator is an all-star in this format. Card is so good. And what do I have so far? I have Creature, Enchantment. I'm just going to exile the card here for no reason. And then if I need to, I can still make him big on my turn, so using something from my graveyard. Brynhilder is here. So, sorcery or land will do it. Let's go ahead and put Brynhilder in. See what we draw. Got a land, sure. Play that. Now, am I willing to throw away the FOMO? Let's see. I think I might be. I'm going to untap the BC though, so that... Because it's clear to me that they have some kind of interaction for Curator. If they don't, they're in big trouble either way, so... it's kind of a win more, yeah. Alright. Very mastermind. I would be surprised if they don't block FOMO with Jill. That just seems wrong. Yeah. It's kind of weird. I didn't get a... I thought... When did I get a second combat there? I thought it was a trigger that just, like, functioned on its own, but... Okay. So she blocks... Oh, man. Still just a little bit short. All these little creatures aren't doing it. Because, yeah, she just blocks the 3/3. Oh, no. Yeah, that is enough. Okay. Alright. Bring in the Forge. Fire Magic. Barrage. Frenzy. These are all things I'm interested in playing. Not all of them will make the cut. Let's see. Not all of them will make the cut, but some of these are going to come in. Violent Urge is hard to pull off against them. Let's just cut all of those right away. We want to have interaction and take out their guys instead. They have so much cheap interaction and ways to take us off of like an attacker that I'm not interested in those. I want all my stuff to be interaction, basically. We have to take out their creatures. I don't think I need a... Yeah, Obliterating Bolt's just awkward. There's no need for that. None of their guys are really X4s. Like, if they bring in Shield Dread, it's not good there. You know, it's like... Even Jill flipping as a X5 and exiling doesn't really matter against them. They don't care about their graveyard. Flytrap is kind of in a similar boat to the Violent Urge of where A, like I'm on the draw and it's not as good there, and B, I'm probably not going to have Delirium very often. Or like a bunch of creatures on board. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. But I'm cutting it. Keen-Eye Curator is awesome. I don't need Pyroclasm and 2 Fire Magics, I don't think. Might be overkill. And then, getting down to the wire here. Last cuts. Beastie. And... Uh-oh, we're running out of time. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Is it a... Oof, I don't know. I don't feel good cutting a Burst Lightning. Maybe I should have cut like a Paw Patch. I don't know. No, Paw Patch is good here. They have so much targeted interaction. It's tough to say. Let's see what that last cut should have been. Opponent goes first. We're gonna mulligan this one. One land will get us there, but only have like 40% chance of drawing it. This is actually better because I have the scouts that will make sure we get what we need. Their Wicker Folk seems meh. Double Barrage is also not super exciting. Put back 1 Barrage. Sure. Scout, let's get a land. Let's go in the graveyard. now I have a 1-mana 2/2, so that's nice. Copperline Gorge. Exactly what we needed. So... let's play a Wicker Folk, I think. Plays around, go for the throat. Got Flood Pitch Drowner. I'll attack anyways, nonetheless. Great. Alright. So the Merfolk bought him a little bit of time. He's got Cecil the Dark Knight, Spyglass Siren. Gonna explore. Cooks his command. Mills it. There's a land on top of my library, then it'd be better to play the Scout. Get FOMO in the graveyard. I don't want to lift the Mantic Barrage, the Spyglass Siren. Don't want to. This one's rough. Yep, okay, we're just passing the turn. This game's kind of rough. Just we're not getting what we need, not getting the lands. Alright, we'll take 4. There we go, now we get a land. So... artifact, enchantment, and creature. So just firing off the Barrage would give us our last type that we need. This is awkward. I try to stun my Curator. That's fine. I'll go ahead and... okay. Let's just end turn. Good news is Cecil doesn't flip yet because of the Merfolk last turn. That's exile. Sorcery. Those can be somewhat hard to come by. Okay. Artifact, enchantment, creature is what we have. Still Burnhilder, because I would like to maybe set up to get a FOMO with haste next turn. So we can get that going. There's a Gorge. Still holding on to this Lithomantic Barrage until they play something good. They'll give me Delirium, so I'll put it in there. Oh, I thought it would. No, I already had an enchantment. Oh, okay. So I need instant sorcery or land. Either way, I think it's fine to mill it here. have another one in our hand, and it's not doing much already. I don't know. On the other hand, my hand is getting low, and just it can draw a card, so yeah, it's kind of close. Good news is now Lithomantic Barrage can hit Cecil. It's pretty sweet. I think we got him, actually. Because this Kinetic Curator can get a couple cards with 2 types pretty easily. Yep, GG. Nice. Yeah, this deck, it's kind of cool how you can just kill him out of nowhere. Good thing we held the Lithomantic Barrage. That was key. That was very key. It was tempting to just burn it on the 1 mana 1/1 flyer, on the flying man. But, no, we saved it. We saved it, and we got paid off. Let's take a look at the deck one more time. Let's compare both Gruul decks again. So here's the one that I was playing. And, yeah, I'm still really not impressed by the fly trap. Like, I board it out frequently. I don't want to play it on the draw. I don't want to play it when they have graveyard hate. I don't like even when it's doing what its thing. It's sometimes not enough. It's hard to get Super Delirium to get the doubling thing. It rarely happens with this deck. So I'm interested. You know, this could be a Screaming Nemesis. This could be Scrap Shooters in the main. This could be Tessera or Tersa. There's a number of different options. Realm and Worldbreaker or whatever. Realm and no, Ren and Realmbreaker. That's the name of the Planeswalker. I don't have any, and it's rotating out, so I'm not super excited about crafting it. I've read it a few times. I know that this can be a nice strategy, bringing this in out of the sideboard, because there's not a lot of Planeswalker removal. It's kind of a you can fade the opponent with this, but you know, you got to mill 3 cards and then you get a permanent from it, so it can draw you a card. Usually it'll draw you a card if you -2, and then the making 1 land a 3/3, it's okay. It's, you know, it dies to a 3/4, or, you know, it's totally blanked by like a 2/4 or like 1/4 or anything like that, which there are quite a lot of in the format. So I'm not sure if I want to try that or not, but I am still interested. You know, in defense of the fly trap, game 1, you really just want to run them over, and this plays to that plan. But I would like the deck to have more resilience post board to like graveyard hate and stuff like that, and be able to play on the draw and the play. And that's where Screaming Nemesis is quite appealing to me. It's not terrible game 1. It's pretty good. It's still pretty aggressive. It doesn't have as high of a ceiling, I don't think, as the fly trap. But it still is aggressive. It still can run him over and close games. And then post board, it's better on the draw. It's better when you don't have Delirium. It shores up other certain types of weaknesses that the deck could have. So I am interested in that. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on what I decide with that. And then let's take a look at the other one too. This is like the Bushwhack version with Brynhildr and only one Brynhildr and Overprotect. And I'm pretty confident that I'm ready to move off of this. I'm ready to move off of the Seed of Hope plan. Just after playing with the Merfolk Explorer guy, it's like there's not much reason to come back to this. Overprotect and Violent Urge are still pretty cool together, but you know, the thing is, even when this deck, when you're doing the Overprotect thing, it's not like some of the combos we've seen in the past where they're just dead immediately. Like, you know, you'll often do 10 damage and then they'll untap, and it's like, you know, you can take a big chunk, you can finish them off, you can get some big hits in, but it's not really like the end game that we want. I do like Inti quite a bit. I might add an Inti to the other Delirium deck. That's the main takeaway from this one. Anyways, yeah, that's all. I am digging the red green Delirium deck. I like that it has good matchup against blue black, and I like that it's proactive and it can interact with a lot of different things. And I like that you get to play 4 Key-Knight Curators, which is just an absolute beast. And it hoses a lot of decks incidentally, while also just being good with our deck and our plan and our synergy with Breakout and getting lots of types in the yard. So this is the Key-Knight Curator deck, and I'm excited to keep playing it. But yes, I will be playing this version going forward. And yeah, stay tuned. I have some other brews coming along the pipe. And thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.